You can go to every single door. You can think, oh, $1,200 in leads, that's nothing when you're making $15,000, $20,000 in a month. By the way, competition strengthens the team. You don't want to be playing this competition average or below average. Guess what it does? It almost devalues the entire team. Welcome to Friday's episode on with NASB Madness going on. It's your first week. It's March 7th, and I must say that this is an awesome week. I love seeing all the things that are going on, especially when it comes to this one word called competition. And call it a challenge, call it a competition. But what allows somebody to have this competitive edge? And how can you have that competitive edge in your NASB Madness? Because I will sit here and say this. When you think of March Madness, you think of basketball, right? I know that me and Dustin, we went to see his favorite team play in I guess I don't think it was a championship whatsoever. It was Syracuse versus UNC. We went up to Syracuse for that super fun game. They're not playing their best this year, so I do not believe that they're going to be in an awesome tournament. But I will sit here and say this, that March Madness is not just about basketball. NASB Madness, this competition that's going on, especially when it comes to March Madness in basketball and in sports, whatever it is that's going on, it's about the high stakes. It's about underdogs that are rising. And then also it's about champions that are being made. And I can tell you one thing, since the day we probably started the Dream Makers team, we've pretty much been known as like the underdogs. And I think it's about stepping into greatness. And I believe also when the pressure's applied, there's some really amazing things that can happen as far as somebody elevating their game to the next level. It's amazing what happens when you can do one more house and then another house. And then you're stretching your capacity into seeing what you really can handle as an agent here. Folks, I've got a really amazing guest on. I respect the Cracker Jacks out of him. I think he is just awesome. And before I introduce him, let me go ahead and tell you a little bit about him. So he started at North American Senior Benefits in June of 2021, which is a great month because that's my birthday month. But he had about a year and a half experience at another company. And I guess you can kind of consider it more of like a captive company, more like one carrier. And when he came here, he won an opportunity. And that's exactly what he did. He capitalized on that opportunity. He bet on himself. He took the shot. And no joke, he won Rookie of the Year, his first calendar year with NASB. Not only did he rock out 320,000 of net solo production in his first calendar year. The dude banked in deposits $255,000 in his first calendar year. He was up for a rookie. He was the Rookie of the Year for his first year, but he was also nominated for RVP of the Year this past year. The reason why I've got him on right now is because not only was he a top Omaha writer in his first year, he won the Velvet Hammer as well. But the dude is just an assassin when it comes to production. And so I wanted to bring him on. Mr. Storm Carlton, do we have you, sir? Mr. Storm.
Good morning. I'm a dream maker this morning. Let's go.
Let's go. And you're wearing one of my favorite colors, blue, by the way. Storm, what are you most excited about on today's topic for competition?
Man, when you asked me, Ashley, I texted you earlier and I was like, man, I hope I got some good stuff. But I took a lot of notes, just trying to come up with stuff. But I think the biggest thing is that I'm gonna hit on is just like Craig Harvey's book, Driven in the R's, and having one of those R's to drive yourself for the competition. Okay, I mean, finding, whatever that is, recognition, revenge, revenue, whatever it is that's going to drive you to find competition in yourself, that internal competition to push yourself to hit that new standard. So that's another thing is, hitting those new standards and setting a new floor for yourself as well. So that's what I'm excited about.
So let me ask you this. I know in the beginning when I started, revenge was my big motivator. I had people that laughed at me. I had people that said, no, yeah, you're not going to amount to it. Yeah, okay, whatever. And you look at the fact of, okay, sales manager of the year, RVP of the year, Horizon Award winner, then you've got MVP of the year. And it's like, man, I had all these people that were just in the back of my brain. What was the thing that motivated you the most, especially rocking out your first full year, making and banking $255,000 of commission?
Actually, it's very similar to you, Ashley. It would be a little bit of revenge. I mean, it's a little bit of every one of them, but it's a lot of revenge. I mean, I came from an old company. I was there for a year and a half. I made okay money. I made 60,000 my first year. It was similar like bankers. We weren't necessarily captive. We had multiple carriers, but it was a lot of cold calls, Medicare sales, those kind of things. And they brainwash you there in a sense. I mean, I was drinking the Kool-Aid very heavily, but they make it out to that's the best spot. There's nowhere else. There's no other opportunity. And you're going to an office every day. You're sitting there, you're phoning from 9 to 9 o'clock at night. You're being told to stay there unless you have two sales. So my big thing is they're telling me, no matter what, if I leave here, I'm going to be, a loser in a sense if I leave. So that was my big revenge was, hey, I'm going to come over here. I'm going to find, a way better system, which is what I found. I'm going to find a place where I can run leads versus cold calls. I can start selling more life insurance because if you ask anybody in sales, life insurance and annuities are where the income's at, where the commission's at. It's Medicare is good, but that's going to be more for renewals. If you're looking for the big commission, it's life insurance. So my big one was revenge, but also a little bit of, the recognition. Being brand new to Garrett's team, my first month, he texted me and I remember him saying, dang, you're top 3 or top 4 for my team, gross numbers your first month in, like that's pretty amazing. And I was like, dude, I feel like I'm struggling. So at that point, I was like, I'm going to be number 1 pretty quickly because I feel like I'm doing rough. So I just kept pushing myself to be number 1. I set a goal that year for 300,000 net. And I made sure that I hit that. I tracked it throughout the year. I was at 153 or so halfway through the year, so I was on track for it, and then hit the 320. But mainly, it would be the revenge to the other company, the other CEO, telling me I wouldn't amount to nothing, and then also just a little bit of recognition and revenue as well.
So when we're looking at competition, rocking out over 320,000 net first calendar year. I love what you said that mid-year you were already over that line of 153. So in my mind, I'm already thinking, okay, you're tracking your numbers because you cannot measure what you do not track. And then also competition forces us to level up. That's exactly what competition does. And so tell me a little bit about this as far as how do you feel that competition levels you up? It forces you, in my opinion, to be the best version of you. Tell me a little bit about what was the mindset as far as the daily routine. Obviously, what motivated you was the revenge. And tell me what those 5 things are again.
I would say the first thing is winning your morning. Okay, I mean, when it comes to that, I mean, you guys got to be up winning your morning. There's a lot of agents that are rolling, right onto the call, and then after the call, they're getting in the field, half asleep and stuff. You got to win your morning. I won't lie to you. I'm not a huge on. I don't do a lot of working out and stuff, but I'm up at 6:30, 6:45 every morning, and I'm doing a lot of stuff to move my business forward. I'm doing whatever it is, just getting up and active, getting, moving business forward, checking emails, getting leads, texting, maybe past recruits I was talking to, texting, my directs, my agent. But that's the big thing is just waking up, getting prepared, not just rolling out of bed right onto the call and then, going to your first door half asleep and then find things to do at home that are going to help you move your business forward. Okay. So, calling existing clients. And always the one thing too, I'll say is, have like a list every day where you wake up and, if you have a chargeback or so, put down on, a blank notability page, their name, their number, and to call them and maybe go back and put a couple more down from the past couple months. Okay. I'm telling you guys, like you'll have chargebacks from 5-6 months ago that you finally call and things were just rough at the time and you get an easy sale that day. Okay. So make those notes, prepare to win for the day. But I want to say this, Ashley, when I was like, it was only like 4 or 5 months in, we actually did that manager's trip where it was like in Charlotte or something. We had the dinner on the boat and stuff. I don't know if you remember that. Garrett and my other upline let me come to it and stuff. And when I was there, I was writing, I'd been there for like 4 or 5 months, was writing at a pretty high level. And Nate Salman actually challenged me. So he challenged me that he was gonna outright me the next month, and we bet $100, and I was like, no way, like I'm gonna smoke him. And we both went hard. We were texting each other that month and everything, and he was working down in Florida, and we were going really hard against each other. And moral of the story is, I lost that. So I lost the competition. He beat me by a couple thousand AP, but here's where I did win is that was my biggest income month since I'd been at NASB. So that competition between me and him, I did lose, but that was my biggest income month because of how hard we were pushing against each other. So that was a huge thing too. And then I will just point out one other thing as far as the competition creates you to level up. Okay, and I'll just say this. You guys might know, run the Michigan team, and I got my direct Spencer, Jack. But Spencer last, I want to say last year or so, he had caught me. He had grown very fast and had caught me. Lit a fire under me of, hey, this is what I need to do, and this is what I need to do to level up. And now I got this competition of, hey, I got to get back ahead in a sense, or I got to stay ahead, whatever it is. So I just want to point that out too, is I've had many times in my career, even here, where I've, had competition that's had to help me level up. But those are two big examples, is me versus Nate, him beating me, but me still winning an income that month, having my best income since being at NASB. And then also, learning how to recruit by having, someone catch you. So that's another way to level up, is lighting that fire under you.
That first point about how to have this competitive edge while you guys are in NASB madness. And again, light up the chat. We want to hear from you. What is it that motivates you, especially during this competition? Is it revenge? Is it revenue? Is it relevance, aka significance? I know a big one is respect. Especially being a lady in this industry. Gosh, respect was huge. Oh, I think the fifth one, by the way, is recognition, by the way. I wanted my name to be called. I know for a few years, legit, not only revenge, but then also recognition. Just hearing my name be called that, yeah, you won, you're going into another bracket. That really kind of forced me to absolutely level up. And I do want to say this, is that I think you brought on a really good one, that you said, hey, look, even though you lost to Nate Salman and you had to pay him $100, you just found out that you just had your best month ever, especially in deposits, when it was your fourth month. You guys, that's what competition does. Is it forces you out of your comfort zone, which I want to hear a little bit more about your daily routine. I know you wake up at 6:30 in the morning, and then until your 8:30 a.m. call or your 9 a.m. call, you are straight up working on all of your back office business. You're taking a list down of, okay, who charged back? Who do I need to get back on the books? So you're doing all of this about 2 hours before you even get out on the field. So you get out on the field. How many presentations are you doing? What kind of leads are like your favorite lead type? How much are you spending, by the way, on leads? And what were kind of the deposits that when you're challenging yourself like this, what was the income that you were making?
Yeah, absolutely. So, if I think back to my rookie year and stuff, I will say I've never really tracked presentations. I've just been one I'm big on leads. I've always got my presentations. I'll always have presentations. I'm big on just being a lead junkie. Okay, so what I really teach my guys is having really, 12 to 15, at least 15 new to you leads every day that you're out there. Okay, so really what I'm doing is, my rookie of the year, I'm pretty much waking up every single day and buying $200 worth of leads in the morning. Okay. And I'm working at anything platinum. So Chromie said that before. What's your favorite lead type? Anything new. Doesn't matter if it's a digital, a check, a memorial. Okay. So you should have all those leads en route. And I can think back my rookie of the year where I was texting Garrett and was like, I've had 4 or 5 sales a day and all of them were off of a different lead type. I sold a digital that day, sold a check, sold a memorial. So that's one thing, is having that 25 en route total. So like I said, 15, 18 of those being new to you leads you've never even seen, never even knocked their door. And then 25 total. Okay, last thing you want to do is be knocking in by 2-3 o'clock. You're out of leads and you don't know where to go to. Okay, and then you're like, oh, I'm just done for the day, or oh, I got to go on the server here and now I got to buy more leads. That's not what you want to do. You want to be buying the leads in the morning. Okay, if you would have bought that lead in the morning, maybe you would have caught the lead home in the morning. Okay, there's just so many. I'm telling you, that's a huge thing. 1,200 a week, 1,000, 1,200 a week on leads. That might sound a lot, but you're talking, writing 8, 10,000, 12,000 weeks. Okay, and another huge thing that I'll say as well is I worked different areas, and I actually lived 2 hours away from one area that I worked my rookie year. Okay, and I would pretty much juggle like each week. So I would be working 2 hours away from home, and I'd have leads coming in around my home in a country area that don't come in as fast. And as I'm working the city that week, 2 hours away, I'm going on the server every day or every Tuesday and Thursday, and I'm grabbing my lead order, but also every other lead that comes in back up home by me. Okay, so by the time I'm done working that week down in Lansing or whatever I'm at 2 hours away, the next week I go home, I might have spent 15, 1,600 that week on leads, but now I got all my leads already for the following week around my house. So that was another thing too, is just kind of juggling, kind of having. That's one thing I'm trying to teach my guys, is because a lot of them will go one place and they'll work some leads and stuff, and then the other area that they have fills up with leads, and then a agent buys them all, and they're like, "What? They're all gone now." And it's like, okay, well, you gotta, as soon as they hit the server and stuff, first come first serve, grab them, hang on to them. Just because you bought them doesn't mean you can't work them, a week or two from now. So that's another thing. And then as far as income and stuff, I could go back. I tracked it on a spreadsheet every single month and stuff, what I was making. But I will say this: I hit 10K within my like third month or so. I think my first month was 5, 6K. Second month was 9K, and after that it was over 10. And I've never been over or under 10,000 in deposits after that. So
And
that was the other thing I was gonna say on here, which I'll get to, Ashley. But that's just setting the floor for yourself. You should never go below that floor once you hit it. If you can do 10,000 income one month, you can do it next month. It's just about being consistent and doing the same things again.
And I think it's very you and I are very similar, because it was always a competition with me, very, very big when it comes to administrative work, organization. And then when you're looking at the first of the month, putting all your deposits for that previous month, and then bam, okay, if you made $9,000 in commissions, okay, well, what's stopping you from hitting 10,000 or $11,000 this month in commissions? You always want to beat better than your best. Now, I know that if you are a brand new agent on here, okay, you are just, when you hear that word, oh my gosh, he spent $1,500 in a week on leads. Okay, well, kind of listen to a couple of things, kind of read between the lines here, folks. The conviction that he has, the belief that he has in the service and the value that he is giving out there and contributing to the world far exceeds the price of an actual physical lead. A new agent doesn't have that yet. This is why our biggest thing for new agents is, hey, look, man, go get all those data leads that are 50 cents. Go get those bronze leads that are $3, because what you're trying to do is you're trying to establish more. More what? More exposure, more presentations. Why? So that you can get the wisdom, so that you can correlate to what? The conviction. When you have the conviction, like this guy, Storm, guess what? You can go to every single door. You can think, oh, $1,200 in leads, that's nothing when you're making $15,000, $20,000 in a month. By the way, he's an associate partner. He started in June of 2021, first calendar year, 2022. So it's really only been 3.5 years. He's an associate partner. Next rung up is junior partner, and those folks are making about $700,000 minimum in deposits. Let's go to the second point. Competition strengthens the team. Competition strengthens the team. You don't want to be the guy or the girl that's being casual, that's playing this competition average or below average. Because what you actually do when you play like that, and you've got this team out there that is banking on you to level the freak up, guess what it does? It almost devalues the entire team because of the actions you're choosing to take. So let's talk a little bit about how that strengthens the team when everybody is acting out of the best version of themselves. Let's hear about it, Storm.
Yeah, so I kind of just had a couple points there, Ashley. I put one thing I just want to say is, competition brings out your full potential. That's for sure. Okay, and it definitely shows you what you're capable of, sets those new standards for yourself. Every year I've been here, and I'm making more than 10,000 a month now. I'm making 40,
Your best
50 or
month.
so.
What's been your best month? Take home.
Little over 50,000.
Let's
So,
go.
yep, but getting there, got to get to the junior partner level. But I just want to say that you set new standards for yourself. You're never going to go backwards. My income has never gone backwards. You should not. This is the great thing about our business, is that you can level up all the time, every year. It doesn't have to be, oh, I made 100K this year and 100K the next year. No, you're always going to be making more renewals, everything, building a team. Young guys, we all come from, competitive background, sports background, whatever it is. One thing I want to say too, actually, is everybody's looking for recognition. I just got to throw that out there. Whether we like to say it or not, in the R's, we all got some sort of form of recognition. Even Brian Celestine said it on stage. Even if it's your wife or something that does something nice for you, and just saying thank you, hey, I appreciate what you did, whatever. Everyone likes the recognition. But as far as that, the team average and stuff, we're a bunch of young guys. We're pushing all of our guys as well. We're out there. Spencer and me are out there. I'm associate partner. I'll probably still write 250 or so this year in net production, just because that's just what me and Spencer and these guys do on our team. Is we just work. If we're not working, our other guys aren't working. And then another thing that we do is I like to jab at our guys. So what I like to do actually is like anytime a new guy comes in, I'm always telling the other guys that or a guy that's struggling, not maybe not even struggling, but not working as hard, or I can tell could be working harder, is not plugged in as much or stuff. I start to like maybe pick at him and be like, hey, we got new guys coming on and stuff. Looks like you're gonna get passed up. You don't start doing something, light that fire under them. That's what I was told when I was new in insurance was, hey, there's gonna be a lot of new people sitting at this table in the morning. You're either gonna sink or you're gonna swim. There's some guys that are like, hey, I hate this other dude on the team. We're all a big team and family, but they're just like, hey, I don't like this guy or don't like this guy. And it's like, okay, well, use that as a motivator because he's doing better than you. So as much as you don't like him, he's making more money and outselling you.
I know that last year Texas A&M they actually were down and they beat the number one team Auburn, and it was 83-72. You see, I believe that when you're winning these games, it's what you're doing in the practice. You're waking up at 6:30 a.m. You're taking those 2 hours. You're studying your back office. You're looking at your metrics. That probably just gets you angry almost. Man, if you get a charge back, or hey, this person fell off the books, or hey, I got this referral, I need to go over here. And you're just studying this business and you're studying your numbers and you're just saying, okay, what can I do? And then here's the cool thing is when we're talking about the competition that strengthens the team, you use competition because it feeds energy to the entirety of the team. That's what it does. And here comes this third and final point. You ready? Competition, what it does is it makes you adaptable. And then it also makes you dangerous. Okay. Where it's almost like you're a force to be reckoned with. You got to be able to push harder, think smarter, do differently while you're outworking your competition. So let's talk about that.
Like this
Okay?
during this time, I told you we hit RVP last year, so we're in a competition right now for NASB Madness. And when it comes to anything, just having a team that's pushing for something bigger. Okay, so like I said, NASB Madness, it's a big competition. It's something we're all pushing for. But we got even bigger costs. Okay, so we're actually going for another promotion. So not only are we pushing for that, but it's like, hey, we're gonna win these brackets and stuff just because we're pushing so hard for the promotion. So having a bigger cause during this time as a team, to get recognized as being the best team these months to whatever, we've won a couple team competitions and it feels good. So, and then as far as, solo competitions, that's where I'm looking at, my revenue, okay, or my revenge. Okay. So finding that is huge, but I would just say as far as your last point, Ashley, is going to be, finding something, an even bigger cause during this competition time. Okay. Something that you can work even harder for. I mean, you have the capability, whether it's the revenge, maybe your last boss said, like I said, you weren't going to, make as much or do that. And this is the month to make, what you were making there all year, your salary in a month. So
Let's go. Say that one more time.
yeah. So if you don't have a competitive side, you're never going to be above average.
I believe that NASB Madness, when you look at it, it separates the good from the great. Get in the game, you guys. You have this shot. You have this opportunity to absolutely level up and see what you are made of. Because I can tell you one thing is every single one of you guys, gosh, you were made to make a difference. There's so many things. I know our slogan is burn the freaking ships. There's no plan B. You go all in. There is no surrender. There's no retreat. Burn the freaking ships. Get the freak out of your door. Make it happen for you, your family, your team. And you're going to see and find out that March is going to be your best month ever. Any words in conclusion, Mr. Storm?
Last thing I'd say is this is the time to push before summer. I mean, let's get it. The days are getting longer and stuff. Set a new standard for yourself, guys. I mean, whatever you do this month, you can do again in April, May, June. You just find that inner competition and stuff. Find that R. Find the reason that you're here. Find the reason that you want to go outwork everybody, why you want to get recognized.
Thank you so much, Storm, for being such an incredible special guest on the Dreammakers team. Folks, let's make it happen today. Let's go. Appreciate you, Storm. Y'all take care.